Batgirl number 23, written by Gail Simone, art by Fernando Pasarin. So this is the start of a new arc called Batgirl Wanted, but it is pretty much just an evolution of the prior arc. So the way that the last issue wrapped up is basically Jim Gordon punched Batman and said, "I'm coming after Batgirl." And Batgirl, of course, stripped herself of the name Batgirl because she killed her brother. So this picks up at the place where Nightfall. You remember Nightfall from like half a year ago? We're back on her. And Gordon and Detective McKenna are going, and she's like, "Oh, hey, what a surprise, Gordon. Here to stick me with more charges that are clearly fraudulent." McKenna's like, "Oh, we had you dead to rights. Don't even act like you didn't kill those people as Nightfall." She's like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." Anyway, so Gordon's like, "Look, here's the thing. We're not after you. You beat the charges, so be it. But we know that you have run into Batgirl several times. We would like to see your security footage because we're interested in her." So she's like, "Oh, that's right, your son died. I remember reading about that. I'm so sorry. I'm here to give you anything you need." And he's like, "Yeah, thanks. Just the footage, though." So she instructs her sidekick to get all the footage, and then she's left with her other two lackeys, and it's like, okay, there's like a 50% chance that he's just playing us and he's actually working with Batgirl to take us down. So we got to keep a special eye on him. But right now, let's go ahead and play it extra careful. So we see that Batgirl and her roommate Alicia are out shopping because she's like, "Oh yeah, it's been so long since I've been able to just enjoy myself." And Alicia really does a great job at that. And so they make their way through the mall. And soon they are accosted by a couple of punks who are trying to get their attention, like, "Hey, baby, you look good tonight." And Alicia's like, "Don't worry, they'll get bored when we don't respond. Just keep walking." But they keep on following. They keep on pushing. Eventually, they're like, "Oh, what's the matter? You think you're too good for us? Oh, maybe you guys are a couple. Well, I got something that can fix that." And Barbara just snaps. She grabs a plate from the food court, breaks it on a table, and starts holding it and be like, "Oh yeah, you want this? You want this now? Huh? And they're just like, "Jesus, okay, crazy." And they run off. And obviously Barbara like flashes back because the shard she had looks a lot like a batarang, and she flashes back to how she killed her brother. And Alicia's like, "Okay, maybe let's go home." So we cut to later on. Gordon and McKenna are in the car and they're just staking out, keeping an eye on things. And McKenna's like, "Hey, Gordon, I never really pegged Batgirl as a killer. That seems weird. Are you positive that she wasn't like forced into a situation where she had to kill your son to like save a life or something?" And he's like, "No, I watched it myself. That's not what happened. So stop with your stupid theories." And she's like, "Okay, yeah, sorry, whatever." So at that point, they get a file and they say, "All right, our next person we need to interview is someone that we know has been in contact with Batgirl, Ricky Gutierrez," which is, of course, the person who is currently Barbara's boyfriend, question mark. But he's, of course, fallen into his own stuff, as last issue, Barbara went on a date with him and they beat up some gang members. The gang members have decided to get revenge, and they have Ricky's brother and have called him up and said, "Ricky, we're going to kill your brother, and you got to come down here and like say goodbye to him," obviously intending of, "We'll let him go if you come down here yourself. And then if you don't do it or the cops show up, we'll kill your mom." So Ricky says, "All right, crap, I gotta go. Go stay at Aunt Cynthia's house. I gotta take care of this." And his mom starts freaking out. He calls up Barbara. Barbara's just getting home from shopping and she's so happy and whatnot. And he's like, "Hey, yeah, we're probably not gonna see each other again. Just know that I really did try." Click. And so she's like trying to call him back, trying to get anything. Turns out that as he's got his gun packed and he's trying to walk out, that's as Gordon and McKenna are coming up. And so he goes out the fire escape. McKenna was already there waiting, thinking he was going to try to run. He pushes her out of the way and she hits her head on the metal bar and gets knocked out. And Gordon kicks open the door. He thinks like, "Oh, this guy just like assaulted an officer, took him out." So he calls in backup. He calls in an ambulance for McKenna. And as he goes back inside, he sees a photo of Barbara and Ricky on the table. And he's just like, oh, God, Barbara, what did you get into? So Barbara reveals that she put a GPS tracking device, like an app, on his phone. So she's already coming down to try to get him. He's trying to run into the building where his brother is, as he is caught by two cops who heard about his description over the radio. They start going after him. They're about to fire, and Barbara comes in, not wearing her Batgirl gear, but wearing enough to cover her face, and starts kicking the crap out of the cops. And he's like, oh, geez, I was at this guy's wedding. Why am I doing this? So Ricky goes in, gun trained on the gang member, and it's just this whole thing where the gang member has a special, like, alien gun that he purchased off the black market that apparently doesn't kill, it disintegrates. So he's going to disintegrate the flesh off of Ricky's brother's face. And Ricky's brother is like, don't do it, get out of here. Like, let him do what he's going to do. And he's like, I'll get your mom in that case. And so Ricky's like, fine, whatever. Here I am, do what you got to do. And Barbara is up on the skylight at this point, and she busts in and is just like, all right, got to take care of this short and sweet. So we see across town, Nightfall is getting word of the cops coming up on this location. Nightfall is apparently the one who supplied the guy with the alien gun, and so they're like, crap, all right, he's going to be an issue. Also, the fact that they're closing in on him, that makes it seem the reason that they know that we supplied him with the gun, so therefore they're coming after us. And Nightfall's like, you're right, clearly we're at the center of this. So she goes after, she's got a criminal already pegged here, just snaps his arm and says, don't do it again, and walks away. So we see that Ricky, whole gunfight is broken out once Barbara busted in. Everyone's shooting at each other. Barbara's taking out a bunch of goons. Ricky's trying to save his brother. Finally, all the gang members are down, except for the one with the alien gun. He's got the gun trained on the brother. Ricky has his gun trained on the gangster. The cops have busted in, and they've got all their guns trained on Ricky. And Barbara's standing there like, sir, who you clearly don't know is me, don't do this. Put down your gun or they're going to shoot you. And the gangster prods him some more until finally it looks like he's going to take the shot. But first, Gordon takes the shot. Barbara runs in and tries to push Ricky out of the way, but she's too late. Ricky is dead by Gordon. So, Dad just killed my boyfriend. Yeah, no, this is a good issue. This is a solid one in that it's taking these different plot lines. We got the Gordon thing, we've got Nightfall, we've got Ricky, we got all this stuff, and it's all coalescing into one coherent plot of where we're moving forward with. And it's even pulling in from things like the last issue, like the date issue, where I thought that was just going to be a tiny little, we're doing other things over here, and then we'll come back. And it was just kind of a breather issue. But no, everything we did in that issue was to inform this one. So I'll give it to Gail Simone. It was a very well-written issue. Art-wise, it's good. It's fine. I like Fernando, sorry, I'm blanking on his name, Passerin. Solid. I don't really have anything negative to say. It doesn't feel like that huge of an issue either. I do like that we have set Ricky up over the past 6 months. It's been at least since February, because I remember it was in the Valentine's Day issue. So yeah, no, they've done a good job of setting him up as an actual character, and I'm glad that he's finally pulled his weight to be a dead body. So I'll give this one I'll give it an 8. I really do think the writing pulled through on this one. It's a very well written issue. Being the start of an arc, I hope that it continues forward with this quality the whole time. But even if it dips a little bit, solid way to start it.